Testing, testing.
Oh, hello, hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I am well. How you doing?
Tired. I'm tired.
I mean, you're doing some shit. I mean, you're working.
Right.
As a business owner, you're gonna always be working.
Okay.
All right, so we're not recording just yet. I just want to make sure we got a nice sound check. You can hear me,
Yep.
see each other.
Yep.
All right, I'm gonna grab some water. Cut my phone off before it start ringing.
Mm. Yeah, let me put mine on. Because this thing will go off for like nobody's business.
All right, give me 1 minute. Miss T, how the hell
Yes.
are you?
I'm good. I'm
Yeah,
good.
working hard. I
Yeah.
get congratulations.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you. And you too. You too. Writing books and things and
Trying to stay busy, yo.
yoga and meditation and stuff.
Just trying to stay busy.
I be
Pretty
trying
much.
to meditate. I ain't gonna lie. I be trying to use your book. I be trying to meditate and
It's
get
hard.
quiet and stuff.
But here's the thing: your mind is gonna always wander. It ain't the fact of
Okay.
stopping yourself from wandering. It's just a matter of really getting yourself in a position where you can understand where all these thoughts are coming from. Sometimes, we have like 35 million thoughts a day, and so it's something crazy. You're not gonna be able to stop it. That's not the goal of it. It's
Right.
really put you in a position where you can be present in the moment and and listen to these ideas and where they're coming from. Sometimes you have stress and anxiety, and sometimes you have some crazy thoughts that just come from left field. And you're like, where the hell
Hmm.
did that come from? Like, what did that
Right.
come from? You know, and you start to wonder, like, all of these things are just traveling inside of you, and so it's just being present. And
I get a lot of clarity from it.
yeah,
A lot of clarity because my mind is always going.
always. And as a woman and a
Always.
business owner and a mom and a husband, you know, a wife
Yeah, it's just
and you know, a caregiver and a leader, it's just like your mind is always. So even if it's only 5 minutes of just peace to yourself and your own,
right.
you know, it has a world of difference. So like even for me it's challenging some days. It's like so I get up at 3 o'clock in the morning, sometimes when I can't sleep, and I just sit in complete darkness for me, and I hear like literally some craziness, like crazy. Like where did
Right.
this
Like,
come
why
from? Like
am I
why am I thinking
why is
about
my head in this place?
right? Yeah, why is it in this dark place? You know, and sometimes it's just a matter of having that moment alone, because you know if you don't pay attention to it, then it will show itself somewhere
Mm-hmm.
in your life. You know what I mean? So I know that you're here, so I acknowledge you being here.
Right. You didn't acknowledge me then, so I'm
Right.
about to
Hmm.
explode somewhere else.
Exactly. Exactly. So, how's the family? Oh, good goodness. Everybody should
They're
be about
fine.
grown now.
Well, Ashad graduates next year. Um, I was pregnant with Kaylee when I left DTLR. Well, she is 9. And then I have Jalen, which is 7. So they are a handful. I
I wonder where they get that from. Huh?
don't know, but you know what? All the boys are fine. That little girl,
Hmm.
you know,
I wonder
people be
where.
like, that's your mini me. That's your mini me. And I'm like, let me tell you something. If I was ever that bad, my mama should have just beat me to death or set me on fire or something. Because
Oh my goodness. Yes.
her attitude, I just be like, little girl, I'm bigger than you, you know? Like,
Like I'll bring it. I don't care. I'll
yeah,
bring
but
it.
they're good. How's your family and the kid? Oh, your kids are big, big.
Yeah, they big man. My baby is managing DTLR actually.
Well,
She's
she ain't no
20
baby
years
no
old. Yeah. She's 20 and she's been managing she's been a store manager at DTLR for 2.5 years now. So
more. Wow, that's good.
and my oldest is in the Air Force. So yeah,
Okay.
they gone. They like you said, no babies no more. Everybody grown. I actually just got off the phone with my baby. She was asking me questions about management. You know,
But
and
that's, I mean, I just posted on Facebook the other day, I'm jealous. All y'all people got grown kids and stuff and college and stuff. Shaw about to leave, but I still got a first grader. You know what I'm saying?
yes.
No hot girl summer.
No, not
Ever.
at all. Not. You got a couple more summers. It'll be all right. Couple more summers. Not
Shoot.
far. It's gonna go quick though.
It better, because I am over it. Okay? I am over it. I am done. Tap out.
I hear you. I hear you. So how's the business doing? Are you still getting support from
Oh, wow.
or is it
Um,
yeah.
the business. It This past year is still surreal to me, honestly. It really is. Um, because when I started Jackson 2016, I was still working full time. I was just doing it online. And it was like, I guess people didn't take me serious, but then I wasn't taking it that serious because I still work. But Warren came in the house one day and we were going back and forth about something, and he made a comment. Jackson's not a business, it's a hobby.
Mm.
And it struck me to my core. Like, I was like, did you really just say that? Did you really just say that? I said, okay, it's go time.
Right.
Because if the people in my house is thinking that it's a hobby,
The world thing.
then that's what everybody else is seeing on the outside.
Right.
Um, so I just buckled down. I worked and worked and saved and worked. And I said, I know that if I can get into a brick and mortar, I will do better. Because when people think about buying their skincare and their body care, you go to the store and get it. You want to smell it and touch it and feel it. So when I signed that lease, I was excited. I was happy. I was scared. Oh, Lord knows Jesus, I was scared because I don't have no business funding. This is straight coming out of my pocket. But then literally a month to the date, COVID hit. And all I could do is say, Lord, I'ma trust you. Like you got me this far. I'm scared, but I'm ain't nothing there's nothing I can do about it, but go forward, go through it. So we had to push grand opening back. We were supposed to open April 29th. So we wasn't April. No, it was April. Yeah, it was the beginning of April, but we wasn't able to open until May. But we opened, grand opening was a big turnout, which, got the momentum going. I was feeling good. Come around like September-ish, it started to taper off. And I'm like, oh God, I got this big overhead. So of course, starting anything new like that, I'm pulling out of my pocket, pulling out of my pocket. Um, but I only had to do that every so often. So it was trying to hold its own. And I was grateful and already had that online presence. So people were still ordering online. And then January came and I said, okay, I had all this stuff going on in my head and I had to get quiet. Just like I just said, I had to get quiet. And I was able to see clearly, like I needed to pivot. I don't know if you've heard of business owners or, people doing the pivot. So I had to think and analyze, okay, people aren't shopping as much. What can you do for Jax that's going to make money until people start coming back out?
Right.
And then that's when I decided to expand Jax to the T Brown, which is branding myself as the instructor and actually teaching the classes, holding the classes, and then private label manufacturing. So now we have, after yesterday, we have 16 companies that I make products for.
Wow.
So that has been a tremendous amount of money, just keeping it going. And we hired our first employee. So I
Wow.
can't say that COVID or anything like that, took us out. I just feel blessed and covered. Because as many businesses, big time businesses were closing, my little shop stayed open.
Wow.
Um, so yeah, that's the little COVID testimony.
Well, we're gonna hold some of this because we ain't recording yet. So let's start recording so we can get back to this because I'm messing up some good stuff. But the whole concept of this podcast is literally to share your journey, share the things that you experienced to make you who you are today. It's all about uplifting other people that may be going through similar situations, or know someone. And so
Mhm.
I truly believe in my heart that we all have a story, and if we tell people, it may save their life. And we all go
Absolutely.
through things at different points and times in our life. And sometimes we can go through something that may help somebody if we just talk about it. And so we don't have any script. It's literally about you. And if I feel that the audience can benefit from you going deeper in something, then I'll
Mhm.
ask you a follow up question to whatever you stated. And usually it's going to be tied to some type of emotion, like how did you feel, how did you manage that, or
Mhm.
what did it feel like at that particular time and
This
moment,
is so
something.
funny because everybody has been like, you should tell your story. And I always tell the Jax story.
Right,
Like
right.
they like, no, we want to hear your
Your
story.
story, your story, your
Oh,
story.
and the reason why I don't usually mention it is because I feel like like you said, everybody has a story. And
Mhm.
I've always felt like I don't want to be the one playing that little violin.
Girl, you'd be surprised on, even though people may have gone through similar situations, no one went through your situation,
Right,
and no one came out of your situation the way you came out of it.
right.
And you may have a path. You might have been that trailblazer in a path that some other people could follow. And so that's what this is all about, lady. So
That's
let's
what's
get
up.
started. Let's get started because so I don't want you. I don't want to. You start talking and we be in here and record jack shit. Just start talking.
Okay.
All
And they'll be like, what happened to the podcast? My bad.
right, let's get it started. Life Journey podcast is sponsored by Akili Flow. Akili Flow is a culturally centered coaching organization that uses meditation and comedic yoga to help you balance your work and your life. Set up an appointment with them today. Visit www.akiliflow.com. That's AKILIFLOW.com and book your free session. Welcome, 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 family. This is Demetrius I, your host of Life Journey Podcast, the only podcast that uses the experience and life experiences that our guests go through to become the individuals they are today. I have with me today Miss T. Brown, or Tamara Brown,
Hey.
the one and only. So thank you for sharing with our audience today. Thank you for spending a few moments to talk about your life, your journey, some of the things that help to shape you to be the individual that you are today. It's my belief that everyone has a few defining moments in their life. There's a few things that we go through that actually makes us pivot to go or to go to a particular path in our life. And so I believe that if we share it, it can save their life. And that's why I created this podcast. It's an opportunity for everyday people to share their experiences and in hopes that it helps somebody. So thank you for
Absolutely.
being available and thank you for sharing your story. Tell us a
No
little bit
problem.
about Miss T Brown, Miss Tamara Brown, and some of the things that shaped you to be the woman that you are today.
A whole lot.
I
A whole
know.
lot. Mm, I don't know where to start, honestly.
Wherever you decide is okay with our listeners.
Um, for me to be where I am now, I'm a firm believer there is no testimony without a test. Um, and I think like my whole childhood was a test. It made me have some real tough skin. So yeah, I was the kid from the hood with the mom on drugs, the father in prison, raised by my grandmother. But even though we didn't have a lot, I was never unhappy. It was just, I don't know. I can't say I was a sad kid. Yeah, we were going through. I see some kids now, they call it bullying. Um, so I guess now that I'm 40, I can say, well, yeah, I was bullied. But I look at the kids now and I'm like, gosh, I don't want to call them weak, but get a backbone because I went through way worse than what some of y'all going through, and I'm good. Um, I guess I was built for it, I guess, but where my mom choose to, do her drugs or whatever case may be was right in the neighborhood, right where the school was, so everybody could see. It was out on Front Street. Um, and oftentimes when people feel intimidated or feel your success, they tend to hop on the bad something about you, or the bad or the flaw of you. If they can't find something to actually tear you down about yourself, they try to find something that's connected to you. Um, and back then, like I said, I was raised by my grandmother. She didn't want to hear that. She was just like, go to school, sticks and stones. I'm like, lady, you just don't know these. But I got angry. I got really, really angry. I was angry at home. I was angry at school. And I lashed out. I was never a person that liked controversy, um, which made it seem like I was timid or scared. But once that anger built up, as small as I was, I started lashing out, um, being disrespectful at home, fighting in school. It wasn't nothing but a word. But once I started doing that, people started to look at me differently. Um, but I still didn't have my voice yet. I still didn't have a leg to stand on. But it wasn't until I graduated and went off to college. And what that did for me was, even though I went to SCSU, which is like only 45 minutes away from Columbia, it got me out of my living situation and it put me in a different environment where I could reinvent myself, make become who I was supposed to be out of the bad shadow or the bad cloud or whatever that was going on. And I found my voice. I didn't realize my voice was so big. um, and I guess that's little person syndrome, because I stand 5 foot even and I rocks with the best of them. But I started to just develop who I was. I never thought about during that time. I still never thought about being a business owner or entrepreneur. I thought people were crazy for doing that. Like just go get a job, go to college, go to school, get a degree. Well, I got to 10 classes I had left in a computer science degree. 10 classes, y'all. I got a bunch of student loans too. And I decided I don't want to do that no more. I just want to work. I don't want to do that no more. I had my son at 22, and I was like, I just need to provide for my kid because I didn't have that upbringing where, oh, mom and dad helping, or, my grandmother was on a fixed income. So I didn't have nobody to help me. It was, you got to survive. You got to get out there and get it on your own. So I know what it's like to be hungry. I know what it's like to not have. Um, which now that I'm 40 and I have 3 kids, I know I tend to overcompensate. There's nothing my kids want for. Like if they want it, all right, clean your room, you can get it. Just because I never want them to feel what I felt. I never want them to go through what I went through. I never want them to go to school and be picked on because they don't have these kind of shoes, or they look like this, or they don't have the latest toy or something like that. And I know it's kind of bad on this hand, good on this hand, and flip flop. Um, but I try in the course of, some people say spoiling them, I try to teach them, hey, let me show you where I came from. Let me show you how to value these things, because this can be gone in an instant and you won't know how to make it. You will be one of those people that will be depressed, deprived, and near suicide because you've never had to struggle a day in your life. So I try my best to teach them that. And I think they got it because they still have friends from all calibers, friends who grew up just like I grew up. And I have to explain to them what those friends are going through so they can be more empathetic and sympathetic to that person so they can be a good friend. Um, because I didn't have that. When my mom was a registered nurse and doing good and had money, I had all the friends in the world, slumber parties and everything. And when people started to hear about what was going on, everybody went away. And it was literally just me. It was it was just me. And I was young. So even though I was going to church every Sunday because my grandma drugged me there, I still couldn't intercede on my behalf. I still couldn't talk to him and get that guidance or that comfort. So I was constantly in turmoil. It took me years. And when I say years, my grandmother passed away in 2008. And anybody who know me know, like that lady was my world. I did not know how to live in a world without her. So 3 months after she passed, I was non-existent. I was heavily medicated. Um, I cannot tell you what happened during those 3 months of my life, period. My brain shut down in order to protect itself. And people really don't understand, like I was near the break of suicide. I wanted to go where she was. But what kept me was my upbringing. I knew that one, suicide is the one unforgivable sin. There's nothing I can do to rectify that. So if I did off myself, I wouldn't be where she was. I would be somewhere else. So what could I do on this earth to make me feel better? Um, and my breaking point was one day I was laying in my mother's bed that was my grandmother's bed. And my mom had to go to the store and I couldn't be left alone, period. I couldn't. Um, and my mom said, Tamara, I gotta go to the store. I need you to be okay until I get back. Now, mind you, now, Shaw was born. Shaw was like 5. I wasn't even taking care of him like my mom and my sister was. But he was off to school. My sister was off to school because she was in high school. And my mom was like, I have to go to the store. I'll be right back. I promise you, I'll be right back. Just be okay until I get back. I remember those words. But as I'm laying there and I'm just thinking, and I'm looking around the room and I'm seeing all my grandma's stuff, I started to get angry. And I didn't get angry with myself or anybody. I got angry with God. And me and God, we had to have a conversation because this wasn't the God that I was raised knowing. Like, I've been through all this stuff, and you took the only person in this world who loved me unconditionally. When I say that lady was my cheerleader, I don't care if I said I'm about to jump off the roof and fly. She'd be like, you can do it. And I'm like, how? Why? Why would you take this person from me? Like, she's been sick before and she's bounced back. You took the only person in this world that loved me for just being me. And it's just as I'm talking to you and you hear my voice, I could hear the voice so clear. And he said, I took her so you can learn to depend on me. And I didn't understand what that meant, but I knew it was time for me to get up. And he was like, get up. I got up, I showered, and I'm literally going ever since. As days passed and as months went by, I finally understood what that meant. From birth until that very moment, my grandmother has always interceded on my behalf. She's always prayed over me. She always made me feel safe and secure, but I never gave God the credit. I gave it to her. And it wasn't her, it was him working through her to provide that protection. But it took time to accept it, to understand it, to learn and move forward. And it's, don't get me wrong, I still miss her. I still, oh my God, that thing still bother me. But I've learned to live through it. Um, Everything I do in thinking about her. Even in my store, I have her plaque with her candle right there in the window. Wherever I go, she's gonna go. And that's how she continues to live, through me. So when I had my grand opening, I dedicated that to her. Because she would always say, girl, you just don't know what you're gonna do. Because I was always one of those people, I will flip flop in a heartbeat. Oh, I want to do this. Oh, I want to do that. Mm-mm, nope. Changed my mind. So that was like showing her I finally got it right. I got it right. So yeah, that's like my little story. And then I got all these kids and stuff, going on. So now I have to teach them what she taught me. Cause one day I'm gonna be gone. So
But it's great. It's crazy how you got to a point, like you said, it took a while, but you finally got to a point where you understood that it was God that was talking to you, saying, "Hey, no, I mean, she did an awesome job, but you need to be giving the credit to me." Like it
right,
took a while for you to get that, but
it did.
that type of affirmation internally is
Right.
powerful as well.
And you have to, I guess for me, it was because I was always around the church. I was thinking that none of it rubbed off because, once I got to be a teenager, I became a heathen. I mean, that's what we do. I mean, a real bad heathen. Whoo, Lord. But I think she knew it was time for her to go because she knew she had already prepared us for her leaving. Although we didn't know it and we didn't think so, but we were prepared. And I just had to like get in position. I had to get in position. I had to get in a position where I could hear it. Because oftentimes we're asking for answers and asking for answers, but if you're not in position to hear it, you're going to miss it. And you're going to think God is not listening, or you're going to think he's not real, and your faith is going to be wavered. So we put ourselves in position, get quiet and listen, and it'll show. I mean, my brain had to shut off for a little while, but when it came back, it was time to come back. I just needed to get through my little grief.
Absolutely. So you went to college. You go through all of these years of college, and you have 10 semesters left. How did Grandma take that?
Oh God, she is funny. Because she looked at me and she said, "Well, what are you gonna do?" I was like, "What you mean?" She's like, well, "What are you gonna do?" She knew that I was gonna always work. No matter if I went to college or not, I was gonna always keep a job, even if I had to work 2 or 3 jobs. Um, and she just shook her head and said, "Girl, you don't have good sense. You don't have no good sense." And we used to laugh about it, but I think deep down she knew that I was going to find my purpose. Um, she did the only thing that she knew to do, and that was tell me you got to go to school, because those older people and some people, even my mom, they don't think entrepreneur is good. They don't push that. They don't. So that's not nothing that they teach. They teach you go to college, get a 9 to 5, make good money, pay your bills, and live and die.
Hmm.
Um, so I'm breaking that cycle. I'm my son wants to be an automotive engineer. I'm like, okay, well, you have to go to school for that because you need to learn what you're doing. But after that, don't go to nobody's shop. Open your own shop. Um, my daughter, she can come in there, she can run that store just like I can. Ashad used to run Jacks for me because I was working full time. He used to run it. He could go to the events and sell. So I'm trying to show them that there's other ways. You don't necessarily have to work for somebody else. You can work for yourself and be, you know, just as successful. But I tell people all the time, don't look at the social media of the entrepreneurs and the business owners, because we're going to make it look good. We're going to make it look easy. You don't see the dark days. You don't. Even though, yes, I have faith. Yes, I have God, but you still get in your own head and in your own way. And I just be like, oh my God, I need to shut that store down because I can't pay the rent. Lord, what we going to do? You know, we're human. We can say, don't worry about it, but we're human. We're flawed. So we're
Right.
going to worry about it. And it's just, I don't know. I think she just let me be.
T, you said something amazing. First of all, and honest. When you're looking at social media, you think everybody is doing well. You think everybody is gorgeous. You think everybody is slim. You think everybody,
Mhm.
everyday men with toned bodies. No, I got a dad bod.
I call it smoke and mirrors.
What I'm
Smoke and
saying? You
mirrors.
see, yeah, it's designed to focus on the shallowness of human
Mm-hmm.
beings, and but when you're a business owner, and people who are not business owners have a very difficult time understanding the ups and downs of business. And
Right.
there are days that things are going perfectly well. You have money that you like, wow, I can do
Right.
I can do all of this stuff with, and then there's days we like, I don't know where my next penny's coming from. People be like, yo, which one of you bills gonna get paid?
Okay. Robbing Peter to pay Paul.
Like, but you learn to find a balance where when those good days come, you save for the rainy days because you know they're gonna come as a business owner. And
Right.
anticipation is to make, to have more of those upward days than you have the bottom days, and you
Exactly.
prepare so that you can have more of an even flow. But also, they don't understand that we don't cut our minds off as entrepreneurs. Like, you can go to work, clock in at 9, get off at 5, and you don't have to worry about that place again to the next day. But as an entrepreneur, you don't have that luxury. Your mind is always thinking about what else can I do? What's next? How can it be better? What can I create? It's
For
always
real.
going, and so it's
People don't
night, day,
realize
24
that
hours a day.
entrepreneurs and business owners, they oftentimes suffer from depression, anxiety, high blood pressure, heart conditions, all that kind of stuff. I went to the doctor a few months back, and I've always suffered from migraines, but it was really getting to the place where it was keeping me from doing anything, like literally anything, for
Hmm.
15 days out of the month. I can't have that many down days.
Right,
I may can get one a month. You know what I mean?
right.
Um, but they gave me medication, and I'm a big no medication type person. When they told me I had high blood pressure, I went to the store and bought me some apple cider vinegar pills, and I take them twice a day. My blood pressure's fine. Anything natural, I'm with it. But she was like, no, I wasn't sleeping. Because my mind could not shut off for me to relax. I don't care what I did, it would not stop my brain physically. So while people go into what they call, I think, REM sleep, when
Hmm.
they go into the different phases of sleep,
You
I
don't
never
think that,
did.
you know.
I could lay right there all night long, and I could wake up and tell you everything that went through my head. I've created some of my best formulas laying down, sleeping, and got up the next day and just put it together like I wrote it down. Um, but I had to stop because 2 hours, 3 hours of sleep was killing me, like literally killing me. So I had to get some medicine for anxiety and some migraine medication, but the anxiety medicine helped with the migraines because it helped me sleep, it helped me relax. It didn't shut my brain off, but it made me calm myself down enough to relax to go to sleep. Um, and I felt inadequate that I had to take this medicine. Like who can't relax to go to sleep at night? But when you are a creative being, sometimes your gift is also a curse in some instances. Because literally I have a 5-year plan for Jax, and I've literally started each and everything on that 5-year plan. But again, because my mind goes a million miles a minute, I've already like thought through that 5-year plan, and I'm on to the next 15, 20 years, and I want to do this and I want to do that. I'm like, okay, well, what all do I have to do, instead of just stopping and saying, okay, let me tackle this first. But once I get into it, I'm like, oh, but this over here got to go. Oh, but that over there. If people could see the inside of my brain, they'd be like, this girl is bat crazy.
No,
But,
but you're perfectly fine. It's just
right.
it's the
Because it
entrepreneurial
works.
mind. That's how it is, and you know, my lady that says the same thing. She's like, you're all over the place, and it's like whatever. I was like, it's for me. It's always I'm always thinking about generational wealth, right? So
Hmm.
I'm always thinking about what can I do today that will pay my great grandkids. Like what can I
Hmm.
do today, and they benefit from it 100 years from now.
Hmm.
And so everything that I try to create or I do is with that intention of creating something that will last beyond me.
Your legacy.
Yeah, it's about legacy. And so my mind is always going. I'm up like literally. I'll go to bed at 10, 11 o'clock at night. I may sleep till about 12 or 1, and I'm up. You know what I mean? I'm up. I'll try to do something. I go back. So I usually get up and down. Man, literally 3 or 4 times a night. And I just get up at like 5:30, 6 o'clock because I'm like, yo, I'm tired of playing this. I lay down for an hour,
Right.
get up. I lay down for an
But
hour.
see, you better than me because you do the up and down thing. Like I
Right.
literally just be up.
Yeah, I get it.
Like last night, I went to bed at probably about 3:45. I heard Juan come in the house from work about 3:45. Yeah, got it right back up at 6 o'clock this morning. And was
Okay.
like, all right, I'm up.
Yeah, I'm up. I'm up. And I used to drink coffee every morning at 7:30, but
I drink coffee every single morning because if I don't, I am not going to be nice.
you're not a nice
I'm
person.
evil. You're going to see horns. You're going to see smoke. And my brain does not start working. I mean, because I'm okay. So another thing about me being an entrepreneur, it didn't happen because I was an entrepreneur. It happened because when Kaylee was born, the muscle that holds your food down was weak.
Mm,
And if she laid down to go to sleep, if she wasn't at a certain angle, she would stop breathing. And we didn't know this. And she
wow.
had went to my mom's house and it happened and they had to call the ambulance and everything. And I didn't have her, the little snot sucky thing.
Mhm.
But luckily my mom is a nurse. Even though she went through a whole bad period, she's a great nurse and she was able to revive her until the ambulance came. But it was so traumatizing, it sent me into an OCD state.
Mm,
So I can get up in the morning and I don't have to think because everything I do is exactly the same every morning. I make tons of lists. If my kids go somewhere, I write a complete list of everything that I need to put in the bag. And once I check off, check off, check off, once I get too many checks, I got to ball it up and start a new list. Um, like if anybody ever come to my store, everything is symmetrical, neat, nothing can be out of place. It's just,
that
it's
gives
a
your mind
system.
peace. Yeah, and it gives your
It's a
mind peace.
system.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when we get up in the morning, it's like, okay, boom, get your clothes on, get dressed, boom. So by the time they leave out of the house, my brain starts to turn on.
Mm,
Okay, now let's start thinking because I literally do all of that in sleepwalking.
right.
Basically,
Right.
it's crazy.
It's conditioned to do that.
And I'm
But
not a
it's
morning person.
you're not.
Oh my God. Let me tell you something. If anybody talks to me before 11 a.m., 11 a.m., I am not nice. I am so not nice. And I'm part of this business group that meets every Tuesday at 7:30 in the morning. And I'm like, you know what? Girl, get it together because this is for Jax. Get your life together. But I be wanting to say, man, I really don't care what y'all talking about. Really don't.
Early in the
But
morning.
yeah, I'm not a morning person. I can't. Oh God, when the alarm clock go off, I just get angry. Yeah, I'd be mad. I'd be mad. I really want to just. But
But here's the thing, you found what works for you. But
yes,
you say you up at you was up at 3:30 in the morning. I am knocked out. I go to bed 10:30, 11 o'clock.
I wish.
I
You
go
know
to
what I was doing at 10:30 last night?
what?
I was on the FDA website because I just got contracted to make a product for a client. And I needed to make sure that when I produce this, need to make sure all the paperwork need to be aligned.
Right.
So I did that up until about 3 o'clock this morning until I got frustrated. It was like I can't find what I'm looking for. So I just need to call them tomorrow. Um, and I laid down. Did I sleep? No. Because I
No.
tell you, I'm not a medicine person. So I don't take it all the time. I'm like,
Tea?
that's too much
Do you
going on.
drink tea?
Hmm?
Do you drink tea?
That don't work.
It don't work for you?
I'm a
Calamine tea don't
caffeine
work?
addict. Let me tell you something. I don't care what I drink. Nope. None of that. I've tried melatonin.
Right.
Everybody, oh, melatonin works. That don't work. That's like unnecessary stuff
Right.
I'm putting in my body.
Right.
I
Right.
tried working out, which I'm allergic to working out. So
Allergic to
that's another go. Yes, I am.
makes you totally sick when you work out.
I am allergic to working out. When you go to your doctor next time, ask them what are the symptoms of an allergic reaction. You know what they're going to tell you? Heart racing and palpitations,
Mm.
sweating profusely. See, you shouldn't
Yeah,
feel like
yeah,
that. So I
you
don't
don't
do
do that. Yeah, you don't do it. Got it. That makes that makes a whole lot of sense to you. Makes a whole
unless
lot
it's an
of sense
allergic
to you.
reaction. I
I hear
can't do
that.
it.
I hear that.
There's no EpiPen for that. So I just stay away from it because I just might fall out or something. Can't breathe, chest be tight, body be sore. I can't live like that. I'm not doing that. That's stupid. And I like to eat. So why? I love to eat. I eat. Yeah. We ain't doing that.
I'm gonna start with myself. I hear that.
I
Nah, nah. Mr. Miller, what else would you share with your audience or this audience about what has made you the woman that you are today? You've already seen that um, you're focused. You when you decide on doing something, you try to finish it until the next idea come, and then you may
right.
put it down. And then but when you did, when you first get that initial, you're focused. But you got to a point where you finally found something that was yours, your baby
My
that you
purpose.
stuck to. So what was your journey to get to the purpose? Can you see today in hindsight like what your process was that you got to your point of fulfillment?
Yes. I see it so clear. So clear. Everything that I have gone through, every person that I have encountered was for a reason. Childhood, the things I had to go through, it makes me an empath. So I'm able to listen to other people and take on some of their energy. So when they feel like they finish talking to me, they feel lighter because I can carry it. And then I have to unload. I have to self care and I have to unload because I've attracted that energy. Um, so that's a good thing, and that's always good when you're dealing with customers and clients because I get some who's so upset, their skin is really bad off. And when your skin, that's your perception, that's what the world see. So that's self-esteem. So that has helped me to be more compassionate, sympathetic. Then I would say, like, through my journey and career is just I've always worked in retail. I've always worked in management, so it's a no-brainer. Duh, I know how to run a store, I know how to do the numbers. But I will say, when you asked me to do this podcast, I thought it was really dope because to this very day, anybody I come across when we talk about management, I always say Demetrius Irick taught me to be a leader and not a boss all the time. All the time. I say, he said I was militant, which I still am, but but I have had since DTLR and working under you, like it just opened my eyes to a different way. And I've been able to manage successful teams. When I quit my full-time job, the day of my grand opening, because I didn't want to leave them hanging. Um, there was a young lady who was there when I started, and she was just a seasonal employee. And I was able to train her and coach her from a seasonal employee to she took over the store when I left. I gave her the store when I left. That was my completion.
Wow.
And that was right on time because I've never been able to take a person from the ground all the way up through all the steps to completion. So when I was able to do that, I was like, yeah, it's no need for me to work for somebody else because I've already done it. But I totally give you all the credit for that because even though I've worked in management before DTLR, that was play. I don't know what I was doing. I was young. I wasn't listening to people. They was crazy, but it was the way you taught your leadership and how we became leaders. I took that to heart. Like I was like, oh my God, okay, this is totally different. I need to listen. This is the type of stuff that I need to do. And I promise you, I carry a lot of those tools with me, a whole lot. So I appreciate you for that because that's part of the reason why Jax is doing good because I'm able to manage and delegate and run a store and be hard on people. I'm still militant though, because I still would get in your butt in a heartbeat.
And you know what? Everything had this place and time. So
It
you
does.
needed that. You needed that. But thank you. I'm humble. Thank you for those
Absolutely.
affirmations. I've heard that on numerous occasions, and so I am blessed to have gotten the opportunity to share space and time with you, and be able to share some of the wisdom that I gleaned throughout my travels, and it's good to know that it helped you to
Yes.
play a little small part in helping you to shape you to be the woman that you are today and
Yeah.
a successful business owner, which is not an easy thing to do,
Uh-uh.
especially in the midst of a pandemic. And so for you to be able to establish a business, maintain it, hire people, develop contracts, um, develop formulas, have a great product, that takes a series of many successes and a lot of failures to even get to that point.
A
So
whole lot of
I know,
failures.
I know.
A
So
whole lot of failures.
I had
But I
sleepless
want to
nights.
just tell your listeners, like, if you want to do something and it's in your heart, do not let other people and fear stop you from doing it. Because even your closest friends who may have been your besties, who have may been your riders, when you start to do something and you start to stand out, that's when you're going to find out who your true friends are. Because some people like to be with you when you're down because it makes them look good. But when you start to rise, they taper off because their true colors are show.
Mm.
But keep doing you. Keep doing it. It don't matter. Keep doing it. Keep going.
Whatever you have a burning desire to do it.
Absolutely.
Do it. All right, Miss Brown. I know you're a busy woman, so I respect your time. I do have one last question or one last
Yeah.
ask of you, and I just want you to share with our listeners one last thing that you believe they can benefit from. One word of wisdom, and also I want you to tell them how they can connect with you in your business as well.
Faith. One word. Faith. Faith in yourself, faith in God, faith in your ability, just all around faith. That's it.
Do
Even on your dark days, faith. That's it.
it.
But anybody can find me on any social media platform because I try to be everywhere. Um, at Jax Essentials, and that's JAKS. There is no C, but it's JAKS Essentials. And the website is www.jaxessentials.com. For anybody looking to develop their own product, that's www.jaxprivatelabel.com. And I can be reached through any of those websites, any social media platform under Jax Essentials. I'm easy to find.
All
You can Google
right.
me too.
If you have the desire to have a product line, reach out to this lady.
Yep,
She
I
is
bring it to life.
she'll bring it to life, and she has a proven method of success. She has a brick and mortar location. You can visit the location.
Oh yeah, the location.
You
It's
tell
at
us the location.
114 State Street in West Columbia, South Carolina, 29169. I forgot all about that. So sad.
All right, Mr. Tamara. Thank you for spending some time with us. Thank you for sharing with our listeners. This has been another episode
Absolutely.
of Life Journey Podcast with Tamara Brown, the owner of Jackson Central, a skincare company, and they can help bring your dreams to life. So give them a call. Visit them on social media, Jackson Central. Thank you
Yes.
again. Thank you, T. Till the next time.
Bye.
Peace.